Hey guys, I'm gonna do a deck profile right now where I'm doing my Inzektors that I went to Philly with, YCS Philly. Went X2 to round 8, and sadly lost because I didn't see an Inzektor for like 3 games, or 3 draws. It was quite saddening. But then I got this mat from it, so I'm pretty glad I ran it. Here's the build. 3 tour guides. Tour guides are just good, and everything about them amazing. You make Levier plays with banished and everything. It's so good. Saiyan because you need something for it, and you can just torrential tour guide Saiyan and search out Hornet, Dragonfly, or anything really. Or you can search out one of these. One of these 3 Veilers that are OP against everything right now. 3 centipedes, 3 dragonflies, 3 hornets, and that staple Inzektors. Next is 2 hoppers. A lot of people actually don't like Hopper, but he saw so much use during the weekend. There were games where I needed to actually attack directly for game, games where I needed something big, and games where I made rank 7s and I made rank 6s from him too once because he was out in the field and I had a ladybug and I had to play, so I did it. 1 ladybug, 1 card trooper, 1 dad, 1 Giga Menace. I tried it at 2 card trooper, but since I don't run like 3 calls and like limit reverse, I decided at 1. And it worked out really well against heroes and a lot of other decks where I just needed a 19 beater real quick to just crash something, and then it allowed me to draw and plus off it quite a lot. 2 Zek Calibers. At 3 became 2 Kage, but at 2 I just equipped it to a lot of things. It was also one of the reasons I had a 3700 Hopper, and I just used Hopper to equip Hopper and attack directly multiple times with it. Beat Chamber because of it. Butch Moons, Book of Moon, stable, heavy, stable. Mind Control, what was a staple, but now it's fallen out of favor with a lot of people. But with my deck, I can mind control almost any deck and make something. Rabbit, it's the only exception if they have Logia Doka out, but even then, if I mind control one of their guys, I can go off after I mind control it. Like Doka and all that, and also good with Photon Thrasher. Photon Strike Bouncer if I just mind control it and then overlay it. 1 Foolish because it's amazing for this deck, and 1 Reborn. I don't run Dark Hole because I pop everything anyways, and I just need more pop targets anyways, and if I play correctly, I don't need a Dark Hole. And I didn't miss it at all during the weekend. 3 MSTs, and that's the magic lineup. The traps I have: 2 Torrentials. Torrentials just clear the field for everything, and Inzektors you sometimes just summon 1 monster. Also amazing with Saiyan. 2 Warnings, 1 Judgment. 2 Calls because there were too many plays game 1 in which I could use Call. In game 1, I special summoned out the ass. Like, I made 3 players at in the top 50 tables when I was in there for 3 of them, and I made them put in Maxis against me because of how many special summons I did. Maxis versus my Inzektors, like, it was just funny as hell when I did that. And then I take these out game 2 usually, depending on what I put in, but usually these come out. And 1 Mirror Force, and that's the last trap. This was a Gores until like a few days before I actually left, because when I left I was like, man, Gores is alright, but it's whatever against a lot of people. So I decided to change it to Mirror Force, and it was the best thing I did. Like, I didn't miss the Gores at all this weekend. I actually kept my Gores token to the side. I just left it at the top corner of the mat there, and like 3 people didn't attack me because they knew that was a token and they were afraid of Gores. I didn't run Gores at all, and they were just afraid of it. It was funny. For the extra deck, I just use a bunch of ones. One Gaijin, one Photon Strike Bouncer. Mind Control is broken with these. I Mind Control anything and make this, or I just make Exostag and overlay this after I get Exostag's use, and it becomes a 26 piercing instead of a 800 attack. But Photon Strike Bouncer is amazing as well. I had a hand where I had 2 Dragonflies and 1 Centipede and a Reborn, and I played against Heretics. So I just summoned Dragonfly. He let it go. I activated the effect because he had macros out, and there's nothing I can do with a Hornet. I activated the effect and equipped the Centipede, and then he sat there so confused. Then I activated Monster Reborn on his Wattail Dragon, and then I exceeded for a Photon Strike Bouncer, and he just sat there. He's like, "What?" Had to run my 5s. Tyrus, Crimson Shadow Armor. Crimson Shadow Armor I sat on a lot. Like, I made it before Tyrus if possible, so that you could just sit there while I kept up a hand. Exostag, I got over a lot of things with this. PLS, everything. I got over everything with this guy. He just equipped them, and then afterwards I just made Gaia Dragoon and put him on top of him afterwards. He equips them, and then he just sends it to the grave after I change it over. And that does it for my 5s, and next is my 4s. 1 Maestro, 1 Roach. Actually didn't use it at all, but I still wouldn't take him out, because there are too many situations where he's good, especially with Hopper. And 1 Utopia. And those are all my 4s. These are the only ones you need. Utopia and Maestro being the best ones, and Roach being an optional one that's great against Heretics and Dragons. Or they have to have Jane and Dragons to get over it. For my 3s, Sea Dragon, Leviathan Dragon, Muserhythm, Acid Golem, and Zenmanes. All very standard. This was actually, what was it? This was not Muserhythm until last minute. It was, I think it was a 2nd Leviair, or a Tempo. But then I was like, I'm just going to pop everything, and if it's a 3300 that I don't have a pop for, and I only have the tour guide, I'd rather just run over it or crash it, usually. So, that's what it became the last one. 1 Catastrophe for the Synchro. Don't really much care for Army Arm. It's just that I run Mind Control, and I have a Veiler. And most of the time I'm gonna Mind Control a level 4. And I can make this. Or I can just summon a level 4 and make this as well. But I much prefer this than Army Arm. Even though I could make Army Arm with Mind Control level 3, yes. But level 3s are usually not on the field at the end of their turn. Level 3s are almost always exceeded into something else. If you ever watch a player with Inzektors, windups, or anything, they're usually not out on the field for you to Mind Control. The only ones that you can Mind Control are the level 4s. There's a game where actually I Mind Control differently, and then finally Big Eye. And during the entire weekend, I kept getting asked, how do you make Big Eye, and why did you just make Big Eye on me? But like, it's not because I had a better play, it's just that they couldn't believe that I had Big Eye in my side deck. Because you can make Big Eye through a couple of ways. Hopper increases levels by 4, and he's level 4. So I could just do it with any of my great level 3s. Like, say that equipped to that. This Hornet equipped to this Hopper is now level 7. But this Hopper equipped to this Hornet is also level 7. I can just exceed those two. Same with Dragonfly. Same with Centipede. They also increase the levels by 3. And yeah, I love my techs. I wouldn't change anything that I went to Philly with. I just lost to basic deck luck because I went 3 turns without a damn Inzektor. But not mad about it. It happens. Here's my side deck. 1 Reaper, obvious Sams and Rabbit and stuff like that. 2 Bottomless, works great against heroes, against dragons, against almost every deck except Inzektors and Chainburn. Trap Stun, I didn't run any decrees because I prefer trap stun to just do that one turn because I run a lot of traps myself. Against Chamberlain, decree is better, but I have other ways to run Chamberlain since I have so many techs. 2 messengers, yes. One judge actually walked up to me and was like, "Oh, you're doing a Billy Blake?" And I'm like, "I guess." And then he saw Big Guy, he's like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, I guess I did pull a Billy Blake apparently by running these, but they are really good. I always suggest a lot of people run this against Dino Rabbits, Heroes, Graph. I use this against Dark Worlds and they just sit there after I explode, and I activate this and they can't do anything. And the next turn I just don't play it and they die, and then I kill them. 2 DD Crows, really good against the mirror. I didn't play against any card D Inzektors, but this is really good against them because they don't have Tour Guides to go easy Leviair. And these are great against Dark Worlds as well as Heroes sometimes. I sided in one against Heroes, and I actually hit a Mirror Confusion at a pretty needed time. Transmigration. Really, really broken. So good for the mirror match, so good for dragons, everything. Because against dragons, you send back their darks or the lights, depending on what they need. You can send back your cards, what you need. This is a great mid and late game card. Just don't be top decking. Like, I usually don't top deck in my deck, so I don't top deck this. That's the only drawback I really see. Because people see this and they're like, "Oh, that could have been Avarice," but I'm like, no, because this is better than Avarice. Like, this early game can really be disrupted too. Like, let's say they send both Eclipse Wyverns to the grave, and then you have this, you just set it, end turn, during the draw phase, oh, send back your 2 Eclipse Wyverns. And now they have 2 dead banished dragons. Just dead banished dragons. 2 Forbidden Lances because of skill drain and Shadow Imprisoning. Shadow Imprisoning hurts a lot, so that this just gets passive. 2 Raikos. I prefer this over Snowman's because it can also hit a backfield card, and it works under Shadow Imprisoning. So it has a lot more uses than Snowman's for Inzektors. And I would really suggest this to all Inzektors, right? Just to run Raikos instead of Snowman's or something. And 1 Chalice. 1 Chalice because against Inzektors I'd rather just have an extra anti-effect spell, you know? And it helps. It also helps against Heroes because they attacked into like a Inzektor Hopper, and I just flip this, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" All right, and that's my Inzektor stat. I took the long Philly. Rate please, and thanks guys.